A great evening to you viewers. This is the primetime news on MITV. I am Tomi Singh Adibukola, and tonight we begin, of course, with our top stories. ASU has again extended the strike by 4 weeks. And gunmen kidnapped 3 and killed 6, or killed 3, kidnapped 6 in Taraba. In foreign news, corruption trial of ex-President Zuma adjourned again. And talking sports stories, Barcelona sell portion of Barca studios for €100 million. Now to our main stories. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the federal government is proud of its achievements recorded so far, pointing out that the government has done a lot against human trafficking through the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and Other Related Matters, NAPTIP. Osinbajo said it is on record that this administration has continued to deploy the necessary measures and political will in the fight against human trafficking by providing direction and support to NAPTIP. The Vice President said this in Abuja at the last day of the NAPTIP one-week celebration of the 2022 World Day Against Human Trafficking, organized by NAPTIP and the International Center for Migration Policy Development, ICM, PD. Osinbajo was represented at the occasion by Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Adeola Ikpaye, called on the youth to make the change even when they have hitherto fallen short. The Director General NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Aziz, said the agency, since its inception, has secured 530 convictions. 36 convictions of the number and counting were secured in 2022. In another development, the federal government yesterday insisted that it has not removed subsidy on petrol, saying any price increase may have come from petroleum marketers. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, at a stakeholders consultation forum on regulations organized by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, that the government still pays subsidies on petrol. His comments came a month after petrol marketers, including government-owned NNPC Limited, raised the petrol pump price from government-regulated 165 per litre to 174 naira to 250 naira per litre. Speaking on the new regulations being considered by the industry, Jill Silva said they will provide clarity for the operators and attract investment to the mid and downstream sector. The minister, who admitted that the energy landscape in the country was in dire straits, said the new regulation will clear up the sector for investments. Moving to our next headline story now, talking education. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has again extended the ongoing strike by 4 weeks. President of the union, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, who disclosed this very statement on Monday, said the decision was to give the government enough time to resolve all outstanding issues with the lecturers, noting that the body convened an emergency National Executive Committee meeting of the association at the University of Abuja on Sunday. As the president said, the extension is with immediate effect, starting from the 1st of August today. The statement says the following extensive deliberations and taking cognizance of government past failures to abide by its own timelines in addressing issues raised in the 2020 FGNAS Memorandum of Action, NEC has resolved that the strike be rolled over for another 4 weeks to give the government more time to satisfactorily resolve all the outstanding issues. The rollover strike action is with effect from the 12 a.m. on Monday, 1st of August 2022. And still on education, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, says no uniform minimum national unified tertiary matriculation examination UTME score for any of the 3 tiers of tertiary institutions, and neither does JAM decide any such requirement for any institution. The board made this known in Abuja on Monday by the board head, Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin. Benjamin said the board did not and had never determined any uniform national UTME score, otherwise known as cut-off mark by the general public for any tertiary institution. They further said that before the admission exercise would commence, a policy meeting was usually held with all the heads of the institutions in attendance and chaired by the Minister of Education. According to him, at this meeting, the admission guidelines, which include recommendations from individual institutions and their preferred minimum admission scores, are presented and deliberated upon and not jammed. Ahead of the 2023 presidential election, a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Dino Melaye, has described the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, as the most qualified and experienced of all the candidates jostling for the exalted seat of the presidency. Melaye said at a public declaration for Atiku Abubakar by the Diamond Ladies in Abuja, arguing that there is no basis for any comparison between the presidential candidate of the PDP and that of other parties. He maintained that the duo remained the front-runners for the premium job of the presidency against the notion held in certain quarters that the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nor the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, are better.
I'm happy that everybody there is singing one song, and that is Atiku for president. Many are already voting on social media, but INEC are not voting centers on social media. Atiku supporters are real, they are original, you can feel them, and they have PVCs. We have two very important people that are contesting this election. Atiku Abubakar was here in Adamawa and Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC. Unfortunately, both of them are very wealthy. Both of them are billionaires, but there's a difference. Atiku Abubakar is a billionaire with enterprise, while Tinubu is a billionaire without enterprise.
Gunmen have attacked Joro Manu village in the Gasol local government area of Taraba State, killing 3 people and kidnapping 6 others. Resident said the attackers came on motorcycles at about 2 p.m. on Sunday and started shooting anyone at sight. Residents of the community Umaru Seidu and Abdullahi Muhammad told our correspondent that people were fleeing their communities around the area for fear of being killed or kidnapped. Acting Public Relations Officer of the Police Force in Taraba State Command, Gambo Bagjabu Kwache, confirmed the incident on Monday and said the police were already on top of the situation. The media past chairman of Gasol local government area, Musa Chul, also said last year they had raised the alarm over the regrouping of terrorists in the forest around their council area. And moving down here to Lagos, the residents of Lagos State seeking accommodation need to take extra caution of distressed buildings, especially those already marked for demolition. The warning becomes necessary in view of lamentations by tenants of the stressed buildings who seek repayment of their unused house rent from the government or house owners when such buildings are eventually demolished. This came during the demolition of 2 distressed structures located at number 26 Bishop Street in Mushin, Lagos, and along Agege Motor Road, both in Mushin local government areas of Lagos. Leading the demolition team, the Director of Enforcement of the State Building Control Agency, LAPSCA, Olusoji Olaopa, found that the rate of disregard for the abatement notices and the distress markings on buildings in the different parts of the state, expressing shock that another building at 28 Bishop Street, Mushin, earlier marked for demolition, was still being fully occupied despite its physical distress look and a vacation notice already served.
Still carrying out our exercise on removal of all distressed buildings, all buildings that are at the risk of collapsing. And we are here to make sure that people are evacuated from such buildings. Like this particular one, number 26, Bishop Street. The place has been long served. It has been there, and people can still find out that some of our people are still living there, using it as a place for scraps. Unfortunately, sometimes when we mark, we need to understand that it's because there is a serious reason and there is a serious concern over that building. So, but sometimes when it's a building that is distressed, our people seem to be looking for a means to avoid that building being brought down. They try to perhaps maybe looking for a back door or something. But in LAPCA, we are not ready to do any compromise because it is about safety of lives. When the embarrassment comes, it comes on the state, and we are not ready to do any form of compromise with anybody. When the building is marked, it is absolutely wrong and illegal for you to paint over that and get deceived tenants that you are resolving it. Resolving it in what sense? We work as much as we can. We have identified so many, and we are trying our best to keep up with it. A house that wants to collapse will not regard a Sunday, will not regard a weekend. It's quite challenging, but then it's a task that must be done. And our leadership, the management of the agency and the ministry, they have made it a point of duty to ensure that regardless of which day of the week it is, we should be on top of our job and be ready to respond.
The Lagos State government says the reintroduction of Jigibola Healthcare Initiative is aimed at improving the vision of the visually impaired of residents irrespective of their age or class. Speaking at the relaunch of the Free Health Mission in Chomolu local government, the wife of the state governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, said on Monday that the initiative was launched 20 years ago under the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, out of concern for the well-being of Lagosians. The First Lady said the Jigibola initiative was designed to strengthen the state capacity for efficient eye care delivery at the grassroots, adding that the initiative will continue to be a legacy that would help reduce visual impairments to the barest, especially among the good people of Lagos State. The Chief Executive Officer Bosco Healthcare Initiative, Nike Osa, stated that the Bosco Health Mission has recorded significant milestones since its inception in 2019, as they have continued to render free medical and humanitarian services to citizens in the state.
It's very important that for our people to be top-notch with their health, that a healthy nation is a blessed nation, is a nation that can make the country more productive. So if you're not healthy, it's difficult for you to perform your civic rights, your basic functions in life. So that's why I think it's very important that health is wealth. Prevention is better than cure. We have brought the health to the people now. We're not waiting for them to get sick before they come to the hospitals. It's very important that they check themselves. Any opportunity they have, whether it's free, whether it's another private people that are doing free health, free screenings, that they should take advantage of that and not play with their health at all.
A world of free entertainment awaits you. Anywhere, anytime, at the click of a button. A world where everyone is included. A world without subscriptions. A world where entertainment lives in your pocket, on your couch, and even in multiple places at once. This is a world of premium free. Why pay? Just watch.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
In a bid to improve cocoa production in the state, Ogun State government has distributed to farmers 10,000 free seedlings of the special cocoa species called TC Series 18. The special cocoa seedlings are said to be expensive, and it is an improved species from the existing ones because it matures in 18 months. The state government last year also distributed free cocoa seedlings to farmers. Commissioner for Agriculture in Ogun State, Adiola Odedino, who supervised the distribution at a cocoa processing company in Itele, Ijebu East local government area of the state, said the move was a deliberate one in order to encourage both old and young into the cocoa production. Odedino, while urging youths to venture into agriculture, said the new cocoa seedlings will set any youth into the path of prosperity based on a short maturity span of 18 months.
This cocoa is very expensive, it's very costly, but the governor raised it, and he has directed that he will give everybody free of charge. So if there is anybody who is willing to do this, please collect it free of charge from the Ministry of Agriculture, because the governor already paid for it, and it's continuous all over. So the governor is one of the probably the first governor in this state. When he assumed office, he made money available to do soil evaluation of every soil in Ogun State.
The Lagos State government has been called upon to come to the aid of some residents of the state who are living at the mercy of some men of the underworld who frequently molest them on their properties. Against this background, the residents are crying foul that despite petitions to the state government and police authorities, they have continued to suffer for their sweat, pointing out that the land grabbers have become bold in carrying out their nefarious activities. The residents from affected communities in Etiosa, Bejuleki, Ikorodu, Ikota Estate, and some other parts of the state staged a peaceful protest and carried placards with different inscriptions crying out for justice against those who they say maim and kill at will.
My name is Titus Ewarawon. My name is just 32 years now. 32 years. 32 years.
Now, what's the bone of contention?
We moved from, they moved us from this Aja, from Morocco. When they moved us from Morocco, they give us allocation paper. This allocation paper, they locate us for that place. And then when we are living there since 32 years, and then just recently we just saw some people just come inside, those land grabbers. They continue to break the houses. We ask them where the paper that government give them. They cannot show us anything.
Our most dangerous elements, I call them terrorists, I call them criminals, are land grabbers. They've been acting unimpeded, unlawful, and uncheckmated by government and police.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you stories from the foreign scene. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. In foreign news, let's begin with South Africa, where the trial of former South African President Jacob Zuma for corruption was again adjourned until the 17th of October in a Pietermaritzburg High Court on Monday. The case was adjourned pending the outcome of Zuma's leave to appeal as he faces corruption, fraud, money laundering and racketeering charges. The judge said that a further holding date for the trial to continue would be determined. Zuma's legal team made the application requesting for the removal of Chief Prosecutor Billy Downer, accusing him of being biased. Zuma is accused of receiving kickbacks to the tune of over 4 million rands between 1995 and 2004. Iran's atomic energy chief Mohammed Islam says the country has the ability to build a nuclear weapon but has no plan to, echoing a similar recent statement by senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader. Such public claims by top officials are rare and are likely to intensify concerns over the nature of Iran's nuclear program. It has advanced its nuclear activities since the deal limiting them faltered. The 2015 agreement began to unravel when the U.S. pulled out and reinstated crippling economic sanctions. Iran has repeatedly claimed its nuclear program is for purely peaceful purposes, but Western powers and the global nuclear watchdog say they're not convinced. And hundreds of firefighters in California are battling the largest wildfire to spread in the state so far this year. The McKinney fire, which started in northern Siskiyou County on Friday, has already burnt 21,000 hectares. At least 2,000 residents, as well as trekkers on the Pacific Crest hiking trail, have left the area. Authorities say homes have been destroyed. The emergency services latest report says it was just about 7% contained. A red flag warning indicating the threat of dangerous fire conditions is in place as California suffers from persistent drought conditions. We'll now take a break again. When we come back this time, we'll bring you sports stories. Welcome. In sports, Barcelona president Joan Laporta on Monday says the club has sold 25% of Barcelona studios, which manages the club's digital business and audiovisual productions, to Socios.com for 100 million euros. Club members had voted to allow the sale of 49% of the shares. Laporta said at a press conference to present Jules Koundé bought for a reported 50 million euros from Sevilla as a Barcelona player. Earlier this summer, the deeply indebted club sold 15% of its La Liga TV revenue to the American investment fund 6th Street in 2 tranches, or a total of 400 million euros, before going on a transfer spree. In addition to Koundé, Barcelona have bought Robert Lewandowski from Bayern Munich and Rafinha from Leeds and signed AC Milan midfielder from Kessie, Chelsea Danish central defender Andreas Christensen on free transfers. And Antonio Conte is not thinking about a contract extension at Tottenham at the moment, but insists he shares a healthy relationship with Chairman Daniel Levy and Managing Director Fabio Paratici. The Italian tactician helped Spurs seal UEFA Champions League berth for the 2022-2023 season and have made significant signings in the summer transfer window. With the arrivals of Richardson, Vez, Bissouma, Ivan Perisic, Clement Lenglet and Jed Spence, Spurs now look well placed to challenge for silverware under a battle-hardened manager, but he isn't thinking about signing a new deal at the moment. The 53-year-old manager has, however, also insisted he shares a fantastic relationship with the players and the board, and he would have no qualms in extending his stay at the right time. And the Lionesses of England paraded a Euro 2020 trophy around London's Trafalgar Square on Monday after beating Germany 2-1 in the final at Wembley. The event was free for attendance as up to 7,000 fans were granted entry on a first-come, first-served basis. The newly crowned European champions performed a trophy lift at the event, with Trafalgar Square turned into an official UEFA fan party to celebrate the accomplishment. Euro 2020 ended in glory for the host nation as England beat Germany 2-1 after extra time at the Wembley, with Chloe Kelly the hero as she scored a 100th minute winner to hand the Lionesses a first major trophy. And in basketball, Maura Jefferson scored 22 points. Silver Fowlers at 16 points and 9 rebounds as the Minnesota Lynx beat the Los Angeles Sparks 84-77. Jefferson shot shot 9 for 14, and Fowlers made our first 8 shots before missing on our final attempt for Minnesota. Fowles bucket gave the Lynx a 9-7 lead, and they never trailed again. Nneka Ogwumike scored 23 points to lead Los Angeles. Minnesota shot 54.4% overall and made 6 of 11 from a 3-point range. The Lynx held Los Angeles to a 36.1% shooting, including 6 of 24 from beyond the arc. And before we go on our news tonight, the picture you're about to see is that of Pa Oluwatomiloye Samuel, who has been declared missing. The 82-year-old Pa Oluwatomiloye, who is black in complexion, was said to have left home at Block AA5 Shagari Estate at Limosho, Lagos State on the 18th of July 2022 at about 4 o'clock in the evening for an unknown destination, as his family was not aware of his movement. Anybody with information on his whereabouts should please contact the nearest police station of these phone numbers 081-688-11565 or 080-8263-5930. Now to our recap. ASU has extended their strike again by 4 weeks, giving the federal government time to resolve other issues. As government killed 3, kidnapped 6 in Taraba State. And corruption trial of ex-President Zuma has been adjourned. In foreign stories, as in sports, Barcelona has sold a portion of their studios for €100 million. And that's it on our news tonight. Do make sure you follow us across all of our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MITV_NG. I am Tomi Singh Adibukola. Good night.